Hello and welcome back to our Tuesday night D&D Rime of the Frostmaiden stream. I realize that I haven't been doing introductions, which I mean obviously I haven't because this is episode 13 now. But just in case this is your first night joining us, I'm the DM Nick, as you can see by my name tag below. Our players here let's see if I can do it in order just from memory without seeing the screen. It goes Cayce, Dave, Ian, Josh, Justin, MJ. Ha, I got it.
There you go.
You
Why
did
do we need
it.
to do introductions now?
Well, that's why I did the introduction. I wanted to keep it short.
Oh,
I'm still working this out, man. I'm still working it out. I don't know. Thanks for joining us. We play D&D every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. As you can tell, we're back on our normal schedule this week. We had a couple of short sessions, but now we're back to our full 4 hours. Keep a heads up going forward. There will be some changes to how we do inspiration in future sessions. We were just discussing that before we started in the green room, so to speak, today. And we probably will change that up in a future session. You'll notice that I have removed inspiration from the channel points options. Just because that's something that it hasn't been a big thing for channel points, and also that's something that we're still kind of playing with on how we want to go forward with it. So, but you can still award a blessed die to a PC. You can still award a PC with a healing surge. You can name a future NPC if you so choose. And I can't remember if the Blizzard option is on there still or not. It might not be. The Blizzard option might not be. I don't think it is. I think I took it off last time.
Yeah, it's not there.
I know you said you planned to remove it.
Right.
So, and so feel free to cash in your channel points for blessings or healing surges, that sort of thing. Our players definitely do need them from time to time. I'm sorry, our characters do. Our players are doing great.
Some more than others.
Some more than others. Ian. All right.
Could use a healing surge right now.
Yeah. Just give Ian a healing surge right now.
I'll bank it.
When last we played, our adventurers left Revel's End, the prison of Revel's End, behind. They traveled south and east towards the Dwarven Valley. I'll actually move us to the regional map for this. It makes sense rather than sitting on the landing page for all this time. So they left the prison of Revel's End, which is in some of the northern reaches of Icewind Dale, and headed south and east towards the Dwarven Valley. And in the process, were ambushed by a frost salamander, a huge elemental beast that made quick work of one or two members. Well, I mean, of Rixana. But also in the process of facing that frost salamander, the party was visited by none other than Auril the Frostmaiden herself, who gave a very clear message to Bear, who was the one person that she had visual on at the time, warning Bear that he and his companions should remain in 10 towns and leave Icewind Dale to its frozen fate. Those weren't her exact words. I don't remember what her exact words were. But following that, they made their way to the Dwarven Valley, where they found the valley itself to be largely lacking in activity, which was a little surprising. And eventually persuaded their way into the Dwarven halls, looking to barter with the dwarves for some scrap metal. And then in the process of that, they spoke with Foreman Anlin of the Dwarven Valley and shared the knowledge that they had of the Dwagar plot, of the Chardelin dragon that was going to rain destruction down on 10 towns. And then Anlin brought them to the door through which they could find Nora Brightsteel, who is the purveyor of all of their metal. Purveyor is probably the wrong word, but whatever. Collector of all of their scrap metal.
Acquire.
And that was where we ended last session. So I'm going to move us back to the Dwarven map. This is the one and only Dwarven map.
The Dwarven map.
The map of the dwarf. That's right. So Anlin broke away from Cayleigh and Bear. Cayleigh and Bear were going to go speak with Nora, and Anlin was going to speak with Leif for to get a look at that map of the Dwagar plot and to get a better idea of what they should expect in regards to this attack that was going to happen in just a few weeks now, just like I think 4 weeks at this point. And then at the end of last session, Cayleigh and Bear were approaching the door to Nora's workshop, and there was an explosion on the other side. You heard a dwarf cursing, a female dwarf cursing, and you saw smoke billowing out from under the door.
Are we all in range of that?
I would say that yeah, I'd say as Anlin is approaching your guys' position, you probably would have heard the explosion, And I mean they're not too far ahead. You can probably see where they're hanging out. So
I think Rúna just yells out like, "Quasits! I know this game."
Quasits?
Yeah, Quasits. Right? No, what is that what we fought
Methods.
last time? Methods.
Method.
Sorry, yeah, that's right. Methods. I know this game, and like pulls her scythe out.
Oh,
And looks
Anlin,
around and everyone's just like shaking their head.
yeah, Anlin's definitely like suddenly she's nervous and she's like glancing to the characters to get an idea for what's going on exactly now that Rúna pulls out a scythe and is ready for action.
And I just
no,
look around
Rúna,
and
it's
I'm
not
like,
this game.
I was gonna say, Bear
Huh?
casually opens up the door like nothing has happened.
But I thought I'm confused.
So I'll just do this real quick. Anlin's going to meet with Leif, and Leif, are you willing to show her the
Yes.
map? Okay, she'll take a look at the map. And I mean that's pretty much all she needs to see after hearing what she did from Bear and Cayleigh to 100% believe your guys' story about the Dwagar. And from there she'll she says, okay, she's like, well, your companions are dealing with Nora. She's like, you all, if you need to rest. She's like, some of the miners are back from work for the day and they're in the Great Hall to the north here. She's like, feel free to join them for a drink or two. And then she herself will head up that direction, which is north there. So if you guys wanted to join the rest of the dwarves while your companions are trying to secure some scrap metal, you may do so.
No.
I'll join them.
I'll follow Rixana, although I do kind of want to poke my head in that door.
Right here?
The one that
Oh, the
exploded.
door. That
There's
is,
the
yeah,
one
all the
right-
way. That's up here.
Okay. I'll just follow Rixana.
All right. So Rix and Rúna, you two head into the Great Hall there. It's a huge hall, and you can see multiple large casks from which they're pouring their ale. But also, like, this hall is huge, but there's very few dwarves in here. Like, there's maybe only a dozen dwarves in this hall that can easily hold upwards of, you're guessing, 60 dwarves. And they're all raucous and loud, and they're enjoying themselves and everything like that. We'll get back to that. I'm going to shift us over to Nora's workshop as Bear opens the door casually. Bear, you see a forge in the southwest corner of this room. There's tools scattered all over the place. There's those 3 workbenches in the middle of the room. And you see a female dwarf she's sitting on the floor. She's got, her face and her hands are covered in soot and grease. And there's metal parts and gears and tools all over the place. It looks like a big mess. And yeah, you open the door and she looks up at you and she's like, what's this interruption for? What are you doing here?
Are you okay?
She's like, she stands up and she brushes herself off. She's like, okay. She's like, of course I'm okay. Why would you think I'm not okay?
Cayleigh just
Don't worry.
glances at the smoke that's still sort of billowing around, but says nothing.
Bear kind of, doesn't really approach, is still kind of waiting at the doorway. I am here as a traveler. I am working with some associates to attempt to deal with some of the horribleness that is going on in the outside world right now. And to make a long story short, I am a smith myself, and I am in need of some scrap metal. Steel if possible, iron if not.
Smith. She's like, she motions around. She's like, oh, she's like, you think this is a smith's workshop, huh? You think I'm just a regular smith? And she kicks the tools like across the floor, and then she stomps back over to the forge, looking pretty angry.
I would assume no such thing. I was told that you actually had some metal, and you were the one person that I could reach out to in the valley to try to obtain some.
She's like, I got metal, but she's like, I'm using it. I don't have any to spare. Sorry, you have to find someone else.
You sure? We can't maybe we could help you out somehow in exchange for some of your supplies.
We would really like to have our artificer back.
It would be nice.
Cayleigh, I'll take a persuasion check.
All right. Oh my goodness. That's a nat one.
That's odd.
Oh,
Good
nice.
one.
Ooh.
But it's still a 7. Nat ones don't count for skills, so.
That's true. Okay.
Still a 7, he says. Like a 7. Cut it.
She looks up at Cayleigh and at Bear, and she's like, "Help!" She's like, "I'm sorry, Missy, but I don't think you two can help me." She's like, "This is delicate work." She's like, "I've been working at this for a while, and I'm even having trouble with it. What makes you think that two people who wandered in out of the tundra can help me with this?"
Oh, it's not-
Sometimes a couple of sets of hands will do better than a single set.
And if you need something with someone with some delicate hands, I think we might have someone to help with that as well.
And she's like, "All right." She's like, "Fine. You think you two want to help? You're so keen on helping. Fine, get in here. Come here." And she waves you over to the forge. And when you guys come in, you see that she has a suit of armor lying on one of those workbenches, and you can see that there are arcane runes that have been inscribed all over the armor. Bear, if you want to give me an investigation check, and you can make it with advantage since you are an artificer.
26.
God damn.
You can tell that this suit is a suit of arcane armor, a la the armorer artificer subclass. But it has lost its power. It seems to be totally depowered, and you can tell that, or at least you would surmise that she's trying to repower it. But as you guys come in, she's like, "Oh, if you want to help," she's like, "Great." She's like, "Here, hold this," and she like motions to the armor, and she's like, "Hold it steady for me while I try and hit it with another spell."
First off, before I do that, how bad is this gonna hurt when she fucks it up?
I mean, you're an artificer. You would know that. I mean, it's not gonna be like, it'll be painful, but it's not gonna like kill you.
Okay, so
18
so I will go ahead and start doing that, but as I am putting my hands on, I'll say, "Oh, I've actually worked on a set like this. A gentleman that I knew in Waterdeep actually was skilled in this sort of armor."
And she turns around from what she was doing, and she has a wand in one hand and then a couple of tools in the other, and she has her goggles down, and she's like, "What?" She's like, You've worked with someone before who's familiar with this? You've seen this armor before?"
Yes. Well, it's similar. I will actually kind of pull off my shield and show the similar sets of arcane symbols on the shield.
She's gonna walk forward and grab the shield out of your hands and hold it up and look at all the runes on it. And she's like, "Well," she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Well, I apologize for my harshness earlier." She's like, "But you actually might be able to be of help." She's like, "This armor, it's not mine. It was my father's, and I am unfortunately not as skilled as he was." She's like, "I'm just trying to get it working again, and I seem to be having trouble." She's like,
Oh.
Are you willing to take a look at it and maybe see if you might be able to figure something out?"
Absolutely. And I can say that if your father was able to work with this sort of armor, he was quite talented indeed.
Yeah, he was. Thank you.
Roll a suck-up test.
I was going to say in my to brown nose.
I will take I'll take an Arcana check as you inspect the. I'm sorry, no, you already did investigation. So okay, no, that's good. That's good because I was going to call for I was going to reframe the circumstances under which I was asking for that. So what you can tell from looking at the armor is that everything is in place. It just kind of needs it's missing a couple things, like a couple conduits to help like redirect this arcane power. You can tell that it's been damaged.
Mhm.
You can see that not only has it been damaged, you can tell that it's been like punctured. From what you can tell, like with you rolled a 25 on Arcana.
Mhm.
Whoever was wearing this armor died from spell attacks, is what you can
Ooh.
tell.
Didn't do a
So-
very good job of shielding him, did it?
But yeah, you're able to see what the problem is pretty clearly, and you can not only that, you can tell that anything that she was going to do isn't going to work.
Mhm.
But if you're willing to do it, then I will take an intelligence check with the Smith tools proficiency to see if you can
Okay.
fix it. And then Cayleigh, why don't you give me an insight check, please?
19 for my Smith's tools.
Oh yeah, I'm rolling hot today.
At least
um,
you got a 10 this time.
yeah.
Hey, my good
Wow.
rolls are just making up for my shit rolls last week.
This just means that when we get into a fight later, you're going to be useless.
Right. Exactly.
Been for 2 weeks
I was
now.
gonna say, how is that different from any other week?
Oh no.
Meow, meow, meow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Bear. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you are confident that you're able to fix the armor, and not only that, but she's offering like she's hovering around trying to be of whatever assistance she can, obviously, and she's offering
Mhm.
her tools to you. And when you are using her tools, you can tell that these are really nice tools. Like these
Nice.
are, yeah, they're far beyond what you would
Ooh.
expect someone of her, I don't want to say skill level, but someone of her, expertise would be
Mhm.
able to use properly.
And I am going to take a little extra time to make sure to show her what I'm doing. Try to
Mhm.
help her, get better at this.
Right. Yeah, she is very attentive. And she and between the two of you, primarily you, you're able to get this armor fixed up pretty quickly. All right, so let's see. We had all right. So yeah, you guys finish, and she activates the armor, and you can tell that it's working. And she's like, oh, she's like, wow, I thank you. She's like, I was worried that I'd tearing at this stuff all night, and I'd do more damage than good with this. She's like, but you've helped me. I appreciate that. She's like, and not only that, she's like, we repaired the armor without needing the scrap metal. So I guess the least I could do is offer whatever you need as far as the metal goes. I'm not using it.
Well, thank you.
Appreciated.
Mhm. She's like, are you yourself also? I mean, you're obviously skilled in this. She's like, do you build armor like this yourself? Are you? What you're wearing doesn't look quite up to this level, but you're obviously skilled.
I specialize in a different form of magical manipulation of devices. I work with a creature that I forge, which is what I need the metal for. Is my last metallic associate was claimed by a local dragon.
Dragon, wow. Creatures of metal and dragons stealing your companion. She's like, you're full of all kinds of stories. My father would have loved to sit down and talk with you. I'm certain of that. Oh, I'll get you the metal friend for your metal
Absolutely.
friend.
Seemed like a class from a different source book or something.
God. Nahesa's detect thought starts going on.
So she opens the door to the back room of her workshop there, and you can hear her clamoring around, and then she'll come out with a not insignificant amount of scrap metal. Most of it is steel. And she's like, well, she's like, there you go. She's like, you're also free to use the workshop as long as you want. She's like, I'd be happy to let you use my tools in my workshop. And she's like, maybe I'd even learn a thing or two from you.
I would appreciate it. Because I need to do a rest to do this anyway.
Sure. Is that a long rest that you have to rebuild
It
your
is.
defender? Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. We're going to break from that and rejoin our other players up in the common room in the Great Hall. So Rix and Rúna, you two enter the Great Hall, and you can see there's, like I said, it's a smaller group of dwarves than what you would have expected. A, given the size of the room, and B, given the amount of noise they're making. But a couple different things are going on. You can tell that this dwarf up here, when you guys walk in, he glances up at you. Like, he seems like he's engaged in telling a story to these people that he's sitting with. But his eyes do shoot up and look at Rix and Rúna when you two come in, and he takes special note of you. But then he goes back into his story and he keeps talking. And the rest of the dwarves, what you see is like they're cheering and all that, and then there's a moment where they're pounding on the table, and then a couple of dwarves tip back their mugs, and one of them falls under the table, and everyone else cheers, and they're all excited. And it becomes obvious that they're doing a drinking contest of some sort up on the northern part of this great hall here. So Rix and Rúna, what are you two doing?
So many possibilities.
It's literally the elves as well.
Rixana wants
It's
to drink.
literally the elves. Yeah, that's true.
Rixana wants to drink, and Runa's like, "Oh, a game."
I think I'm seeing that guy's looking at us, so I'm kind of intrigued by that, but I'm more intrigued by the contest, so I'm gonna slide over there where they're having the contest.
Sure. Rúna?
I'll just follow along, observing very, what's the word? Curiously, trying to
sure.
figure out like what they're so happy about. And not really getting involved, but also not either.
Sure. Okay. So Rix, you come up, and the group that's having the drinking contest, the 6 or 7 dwarves, they're all kind of gathered around each other. They quiet for a moment, and they all kind of look at you. And there's this, it's not really tense, but there's this moment where you're not sure how anyone's going to react or what's going to happen, because they're all just kind of staring at you. But then one of them slaps the bench or the stool next to him. He's like, "Have a seat." He's like, "Come join us." He's like, "Newcomers are always next in line for a friendly wager, huh? For a
There's so many
contest."
player characters around this table.
Laughing bad boy. All right, I'll slide up there and say, "Oh, so this is what you all do for fun around here?"
Oh, well, it's one of the things. He's like, "So, all right." He's like, "Now, the rules are simple. It's you against me, huh?" He's
I
like, "And
lean
then we
in
like to."
very close. As soon as he starts talking about rules,
And he's like, "No, I'm sorry. You'll have to wait your turn one at a time. It's not fair otherwise." He's like, "But it's you. It's you. Oh, perfect. Well, listen closely then. It's you and me, huh? And we're going to go drink for drink, right? And I can tell that you're a gaming person. I can tell that you like it. And this one
I'm
next
with
to you,
you
I mean,
so
she
far.
seems into it too. Now, we're going to make it a friendly wager here. I've got 5 gold on myself here, huh? Can you match that? Can you match 5 gold? You look like you got some gold on you."
I'll slap
I don't
down.
know. Can
I'll,
you?
I'll slap down 10.
Oh, he's like, "All right, well, sorry, I don't know if I can match that." He's like, "But how about this?" And he scoops his gold back into his hand, and he takes off the amulet that he's wearing, the necklace, and he holds it up, and it's a small little bronze medallion. And when he holds it up, you get the smell of beer. Like, obviously, there's beer all over you, but you can tell that there's the scent of beer wafting off of this amulet. And he's like, I'll put this forth, huh? Huh?
It's a
All right,
plus
10.
one amulet of beer. What the
It's
fuck?
it's a plus. Amulet of the Stein, +1. Yeah, he's like, "All right, 10 gold for me and this for you if you win, huh?"
What does that do exactly?
He's like, "Oh, well, you'll find out, right? Oh, you'll find out, I think."
Fair enough. That's more interesting than gold. Let's do it.
All right, Rix, I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh boy. I'm so good.
while he's drinking, like after the second or so drink, Rúna just leans in and says, I I don't understand what the risk is. You're just drinking.
You'll find out. Oh, I don't know. What that. Oh, I had bless on there, so ignore that. It's just 17.
Okay, 17. I mean, that's still a pretty good roll. Uh,
Is it poison?
he's like, some might consider it poison. And Rix, it is strong. But you're able to hold your own. And you guys go drink for drink. You match him, and he's surprised that you end up going longer than he would have expected from one, an outsider, and two, an elf even. But he does end up going further than you. You do feel it start to take over. And I'm gonna go this. Actually, I'm gonna pause right there. I'm gonna say you can feel yourself starting to lose. So I'll let you make another roll at disadvantage. But if you do fail, then you have the fear that you're gonna humiliate yourself. You know what I mean?
That's never stopped me before.
I didn't think so. I'm gonna put it out there.
Okay, disadvantage.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Mm.
Can I provide moral
Enhance
support?
ability.
Don't you have cure poison?
No, it's a save. It's a save throw. It doesn't even work.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
This is gonna be
God,
amazing. Let's see.
Don't you have cure poison?
Oh boy, that's a
I
9.
don't. Oh well.
So yeah, unfortunately, then Rixana goes down with the next drink. Like lives. How does it look when Rixana has drank herself silly? What does that look like?
I
hold
think,
on.
I think,
Wait,
I
wait,
think
wait, wait,
she's
wait,
gonna
wait,
let-
wait, wait.
Someone in chat just
yeah.
added a bless.
Added a
Oh,
bless
yep,
to the drinking.
Scott.
I don't
Super
know if
Sage
it's
in
gonna cut
chat.
it, but go ahead.
So just roll a d4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll a d4. We'll add it to it.
What?
Yay!
Thanks, Scott.
Wow, thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
You're
Scott.
so
That
helpful.
made all the difference.
I mean, that's about as
Um,
useful as Scott usually is.
So
Oh, we miss you,
Ouch.
Scott.
I think Rix would like stand up from the table, just be like, "I got this. I'm fine. I'm fine," and then just face plant on the ground.
As soon as she face plants into the table, the dwarves cheer and they lift her up off the table and set her down in a chair on her own and put a mug of water in her hand and they're laughing and then the dwarf collects the gold and then looks to Rúna and he's like, "Well, what about you? Are you up for a game too,
Runa's
miss?"
like, yeah, I want to play too.
Grand.
Fun.
Oh, he's like, "Oh, this is a profitable night, boys. All right." He sets the mug in front of Rúna.
He sets the mug in front of Rúna. Rúna shapeshifts into a wolf and starts lapping it up.
Not the bear.
He's like, "Well, and whatever it takes, I guess, right? Okay."
I don't
Alright,
want
I'll-
to cheese it by shapeshifting into something with an advantage.
Sure,
I just wanted to turn into something because I thought it'd be hilarious.
I like it.
Not the owl. Oh, okay.
The owl. Yeah, I'll just make a normal save. Buttons. How does it work? There we go. Oh shit!
Ah!
Nat 20.
Whoa.
How's that?
So he's obviously confident, 100% confident that he has you guys, like he's gonna be making bank tonight. And it goes one drink, and he's like, "Well, she'll probably be down after one," and he does it, and then you're still lapping it up, and
just-
he's like, "Okay."
And then I knock it
And
over
then-
when it's empty with my snout. Like, go to grab another one.
And he's like, "All right," and then they set another one down, and he drinks it, and you keep going, and he's like, "Oh God, all right." And then he gets a third one, and he's like starting to drink it, but he's watching Rúna to see how she's doing, and Runa's just still going, just like a mad woman, just and he's like, and he tips it back and starts going again, but he loses it on that third one, and he collapses, and the whole great hall just erupts, not expecting that. And as he's laying on the ground, one of his buddies goes over and grabs the amulet off of him. He's like, "Sorry, Holst, you lost fair and square." And he's like, "I don't know how to, I guess I'll just," and he puts it over Runa's wolf head.
Yeah, I just grab it in my mouth, and then I stumble off of the table and like fall onto my back. I'm a drunk wolf. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So congratulations on that one.
Yay. I have an amulet of whatever this does.
Oh yeah. I should probably share that with you, huh? It
I mean,
is
sure.
It's what is called an amulet of the drunkard. And I'm
That
going to show it to everyone.
Actually, is not what I expected it to be, and is what I joked that it would be.
So the
Oh
amulet of the
my
drunkard
gosh.
is a wondrous item
Oh, that's
that
great.
when you drink a pint of beer, it
What?
heals you as if it were a greater healing potion.
Oh my gosh, that's
But it can only do it
amazing.
once a day.
Once per
That
day.
is 100%
so cool.
Rix's necklace.
yeah. I drop it on Rix's like body and then stumble drunkenly away.
Just like a thumbs up and then back to being past it.
I just start doing laps.
Drunken dog laps.
Yeah. I kind of want to like later once everybody else joins up. I want to.
Mm. You have something you
I
want to do?
I want to give Leif an aneurysm.
Well, I mean, on that
Yes,
note,
Leif.
let's cut back to Leif and Nahesa. You two are still standing in the entryway. Leif, you're standing in front of a door to a small little shrine to Moradin that looks well kept, but also empty currently.
I'll just
What
go
are you
in there
guys
and
doing?
Is there like a seat in there? I'm just gonna go and plunk myself down
Sure.
and
Mhm.
start carving runes for tomorrow.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, Rúna's done a lot of druidy stuff. She's cast a sleep spell. I don't think that's a druid spell. I wonder how she's doing this.
How indeed. I wonder if it's the slod.
I wonder if it's in a slot. Yeah.
The slod is actually a sorcerer.
So how would I figure that out, Dungeon Master?
I'll take an Arcana check.
And I'm like
What do you
talking to
expect it
Nahesa as
be,
well.
Strength?
You're talking to
What?
Nahesa?
Yeah.
You
I'm like,
what? What are you telling me?
Rúna's cast some weird spells for a druid, right?
You think she's cheating? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, magic is kind of cheating at everything. Fuck!
Do you think she's cheating?
You're
Hmm.
yeah, you don't know what to make of it, Leif.
Gee, oh well. I guess I'm too
Could be
dumb for this
anything.
shit.
You could even be magic.
Yeah. I might have just got bored and fell asleep. I just gaslighted myself into thinking I just fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Realizing that this is the shrine, I think I'm just gonna start creeping around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like.
I like how
try
I'm
and
talking to
stealth
Nahesa. I
or
look up
whatever.
from my carving and she's just gone. There's just smoke-shaped cloud.
Hmm? Oh, I mean, just
Pocket sand.
well, no, because like if you bomb the roll that hard, I don't know what you tell me, but I'm like, oh, that's
You're trying to
fine,
escape
so,
before the
okay.
stupid spreads. I get it. Go on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right. Well,
So north,
what's around.
Nahesa north is the Great Hall. Yeah, heading south,
Yeah.
this seems to be it's quiet. There's a couple of other doors on either
Mhm.
side as the hallway then continues.
I'll nudge one open or pull one open.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy?
No.
Okay.
just
You
wandering.
nudge the door open and you see a dwarf who's wearing the vestments of someone of the church or of someone of a cleric would or an acolyte would.
Mhm.
He's seated at this table here, and you see that he's just like writing in his book, and he looks up. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can I help you?"
There's someone raving in the chapel, I guess. I don't know, talking nonsense.
And he slams his book closed. He's like, "Oh no, dear me. All right, thank you very much. I'll go see to it."
I step
You
aside.
set Father Patrick on me. This is not funny.
I disagree.
he ru-
It's hilarious.
He runs out.
All right. Well, this is just his office or whatever.
Hmm. There's another door to the south of that,
You're gonna find
inside
the
that
secret,
room.
The secret La Vista
Yeah,
amulet.
sure.
The secret
I'll,
Leviticus
you know,
right next to a copy of
poke
Quiet
this one
Dwarfs
open.
Weekly.
This appears to be his sleeping quarters. There's a bed
Great.
and a chest, and then there's
Alright.
some bookshelves on the walls.
Mm-hmm. What does he read?
Quiet
It's
Dwarfs Weekly.
mostly
Erotica.
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly books about theology, and there's some stuff about like Clan Battlehammer and Mithril Hall and all that outside of Icewind Dale.
Yawn. All right. Let's check this last door.
All right. This door is locked.
Let's check this last door.
Hmm. I know who has a way to get in there.
All
I'll
right.
start making my way to the workshop, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So Leif, you mumble something about spells to Nahesa as she leaves, and then a few minutes later, this dwarf comes around the corner, and he's like, "Oh, hello, friend. Welcome to the temple. Is there? Do you need assistance? Is there something I can help you with? Are you seeking solace in the Temple of Moradin here?"
No, I was just looking for somewhere quiet.
Oh, of course. Apologies. I'll leave you to whatever it is you're doing.
Thanks.
And then you see like he goes forward and he's like moving stuff around at the base of the statue, and every so often he like glances over his shoulder at you. Like he's obviously like still watching what you're doing,
I'm
but
angrily
pretending to
carving
be to be busy.
Stokes has just carved Rúna plus sleep equals question mark.
Problem is that's all of his runes for the day. So.
Yeah.
All right. So Bear, after about that time, Bear, you are done fixing up the armor. And Nahesa was heading over here, I guess. So you finish with the armor, and Nora is working with you in the process of you rebuilding your steel defender. And I see you have the updated token art. I unfortunately don't have a new token for it yet. I'll get that for next week, Josh.
It's fine.
But Nahesa, by the time that you come in here, you see that he's well underway, like showing this other dwarf how to basically the ropes of what he does as a battlesmith.
Mm-hmm.
I somehow found a chalkboard and I'm writing Artificer 101 on it.
I love it.
Do you have your tools out?
Excuse me?
He's gonna take the thieves' tools.
Yeah.
So you would know because
Yeah.
I have made no attempts to hide it. My thieves' tools are in my backpack, which is sitting on the ground.
Ah, okay. You weren't using them in your
No,
instruction.
my smith's tools are the ones that I keep on me at all times.
Mm.
Or tinker's tools or whatever they keep changing the name in the books. But yeah. So those are the ones I keep on me at all times. My thieves' tools are in my backpack.
Is there like a long, thin file kind of thing?
I would
In
imagine
my
something like
stuff
that.
or
Yeah.
oh, in my stuff, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, like out displayed or whatever from your.
Probably.
All right. I'll take whatever. That's like. Just go on my way.
Bear just kind of looks up.
Don't mind me.
All right. I'll give it back.
Oh, I'm not worried about it, but I literally can make my own tools out of nothing. So
Yeah, since Cayleigh is extremely bored at this conversation,
What, you don't want to learn to be an artificer?
She was in a corner reading her own book. But yeah, when Nahesa comes in and leaves, she takes this opportunity to politely leave and thank the artificer in training once again.
Nahesa has acquired a conscience.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
I guess I'm heading back around the corner. Whatever.
Sure. Yep. You can. So you're. I'm assuming you're intending to pick the lock.
I don't think I'm skilled enough to do that. I do think I am. I think I could figure out how to like unscrew the door handle or something though.
Okay.
Yeah. So much more.
Yeah. Why?
force kind of thing.
Why leave no trace when you could leave an obvious one?
All
I can
kinds
just
of
screw it back.
traces.
I'm guessing I can screw it back in or attempt to.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'll.
Have you ever tried to dismantle a door handle? There's always something left over.
Mm-hmm.
The
all
priest is
right, I'm
gonna
not
walk back in.
I'm not gonna call for a check.
IKEA door.
Yeah, it opens up. And it opens onto a small room that goes around the corner. You don't get the what's your passive perception's like what? 15?
12. Crap.
12. You
Yeah.
don't hear any activity coming from the room beyond.
and yet it was locked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Still just curious.
Sure.
It's just the Midwest
see a couple
outside with
beds?
the deers. Everyone locks their doors
Yeah.
here.
Couple beds, couple chests. This looks to be like it's some sort of obviously sleeping quarters
Mhm.
for someone who is not currently here.
And it's directly across from the cleric.
From where the acolyte was. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Pretty uneventful hallway, I guess. I just start strolling back up here, I guess.
Okay. So, Cayleigh, where were you heading to? You're heading to the Great Hall?
Yeah, she heard noise and laughter and whatnot. She decided to pop her head in to see what's going on. So,
Walks past
Sure.
Nahesa dismantling the door.
So
yeah,
Runa is currently dancing as a wolf on a table. Just
I think I'm going to need some
And-
more visual cues of what that looks like.
you ever see like a dog in the back of a pickup, just like, you know what I mean?
No.
No, so Josh knows
Oh my
exactly
God,
what
I
I'm
know
talking about,
exactly.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's exactly the motion that she's doing, but on a not moving table. And she'll shift back. She'll shift back when she sees Cayleigh enter, and she'll just kind of clamber over and be like, "Hi, Cayleigh. They gave me a lot to drink, and we played a game."
Cayleigh just smiles and says, "It looks like you're having a good fun time with this game,"
I won.
and that actually surprises Cayleigh quite a bit.
Rick's lost, and I point to Rick's like still recovering like, on a bench or
I'm
something.
laying on top of
Yeah.
the table right now.
Yeah,
But, like,
think
still
Cayleigh is
conscious, just like-
surprised by that as well. She's surprised by Rúna, unsurprised by Rixana. So
Fair.
How
And-
are you?
I'm doing fine. We managed to get the medal that we need for the.
In the middle of your sentence, she just like collapses, not unconscious, just like she lost her footing.
I'd like to point out that Sailor Doom in the chat says this is the sequel to Coyote Ugly.
Nice.
At that, when Cayleigh and Rúna are having their discussion, and when Rúna like loses her footing on solid ground, is when this other dwarf is walking over, and he's like, well, she performed admirably, and he's like, greetings. He's like, my name is Ness. And he's like, and I'm gonna guess that ye are ye Rixana? He says, saying to Cayleigh.
I am not.
He's like, okay, then you must be. He's like, I've heard of you. I've heard of your group. You must be. Are ye? Your Leif, right?
I am Cayleigh. Nice to meet you.
Cayleigh,
No,
of course.
She's not. She's Tissa. Don't listen
Tis-
to her lies. She's lying.
I give
he just
MJ my
smiles.
Yeah,
inspiration.
this one's Tissa too, and so are you.
He's like, the drink affects us all differently. But Cayleigh, it's good to meet you. I've heard a lot about you and your group. I've been in around 10 towns quite a bit recently, and it seems like you lot have caused quite a bit of a stir the last few days.
Oh, how so?
Well, he's like, you all, I would imagine, are familiar with the rituals that the different folk of 10 towns conduct every new moon. Is that right?
Yes.
He's like, I know it's dire stuff, but he's like, but Speaker Cranach of Caer Dineval has ordered the folk of Caer Dineval that they are not to participate in any of those rituals anymore. And not only that, there's word that he's pressuring Caer Koenig and Speaker Trovis to do the same.
That's actually very good to hear.
He's like, I'm hoping that it's a a sign for things changing. He's like, we've shut our doors to 10 towns recently. He's like, but he's like, as someone who travels often between 10 towns in the valley, he's like, that's not good business. It's like, but he's like, I hope that you find our humble abode welcoming, at least for how long are you and your folk planning to stay here?
Probably not too long. We have some things we've got to deal with down south in the spine.
Yes, I think I've heard of that too. There's a spot of trouble with some Dwagar, is that it?
That's right. You heard from I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Anlin.
Anlin, thank you.
I'll put the names in chat here. So there's Foreman Anlin. There is Nora Brightsteel. This is Ness.
Rixail's out from her position. I hate Dwergar.
That's a popular opinion around here. Well, he's like, I can't speak for Foreman Anlin, and she's a bit more protective of the valley. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as you and your friends need to stay here, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
He's like, of course, my word won't go for much, but I will vouch for you for Anlin. That's for sure.
Well, friendship is always appreciated. Thank you. So you
he's
said
like,
around any other news in 10 towns or thereabouts? We've
been
at the prison. My mind
Revel's End.
Thank you. We're up at Revel's End just a little bit ago, so afraid our knowledge of local news is a little sparse at the moment.
He's like, well, unfortunately, the towns that are set in their ways as far as the most dire of sacrifices, they don't show any sign of changing. Targos, Bryn Shander. He's like, I did run to East Haven before I came back here. And it sounds like the speaker of East Haven is a little more, he's more open to alternatives, it sounds like. So he's like, beyond that, he's like, not much. It seems like it's business as usual for everyone else. He's like, but hopefully if Kranich and Trovis can get any traction with their convincing of the other towns, he's like, maybe we'll see a change in the weather, so to speak.
That would be excellent. Yes.
He's like, I know that I know that you and your folk are out on the tundra quite a bit, and I know that you have to deal with quite a bit of dangers out there. I myself know the dangers of the tundra firsthand, and I know what you're going through. He's like, but I have a service that I can offer you if you need it. He's like, if you find yourself in need of a guide out on the snow, I would be happy to lend my assistance.
Rude.
Thank you. Like, mechanically speaking, how would having a guide help?
Beyond what you already have, it wouldn't. Leif is fully capable of guiding you.
Damn, shots fired. Sorry, you're unnecessary.
He's like, but if you need yourself, if you find yourself in need of those services, he's like, I'm more than happy to offer them. He's like, fair bit of warning. If you're planning on heading east from here, on the other side of, I believe it's Loch Dinashir, he's like, keep your eyes open for the Red Yeti, eh? He's like, it's been causing a fair bit of problems out there. I'd hate for you and your group to fall to it.
The east. Oh, that's right. I think
This
we
is the
also
Hogger
forgot
quest of
to
this
let
region.
know about. We have seen frost salamanders to the north and east. I think, right?
That was where you saw them. Yep.
Yeah.
So a bit of danger out in that direction.
He's like, well, I don't head to the north too much. He's like I said, my business takes me to 10 towns and back, but that's good to know. He's like, I don't know. Sorry. He's like, you seem to have found a blind spot in my knowledge. I don't know what a frost salamander is, friend, but they sound ugly. He's like, and I'm sure that it could give the Red Yeti a run for its money, so I'll keep me distance.
Yeah. So, would I know anything about this Red Yeti? Is that like a legend of the area? Or is it just something new?
It's not something that you are familiar with.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then I will ask him. So about this Red Yeti, is it causing a problem?
Oh,
in the town?
he's like, you haven't heard the stories. The last few months now, it's been out. First was spotted out by the Reghead Glacier, and it's been slowly moving west since then. It's the rumors are that its attacks are so brutal that its fur is permanently stained red with the blood of its victims. He's like, it's pretty tall tale stuff, but I have heard of folk who have seen it firsthand. He's like, he's like, I fancy myself a bit of a hunter, but I think that even seems a little bit out of my league.
Yeah, I'm not a very good tracker myself, but I think some of our party might be able to look into that. I'm not sure. I know we have other matters as well, but it's always good.
Of course. Well, if you do find yourself heading out for the Red Yeti, just keep your wits about you. This thing, despite its size, Yetis are awfully crafty out in the snow, and it can get the jump on you quite easily, I think. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep our eyes
He's
on.
like, of course, and if ever you find, also, even if you don't need a guide, if you or your folk ever find a desire to get a new spell or something grafted onto your skin, let me know. He's like, that is the other part of my service, is that I'm a bit of an artist.
Why wouldn't he lead with
that? I just love the. If you want me to graft some spells onto your skin.
So I had been like taking Rix's pulse, just like holding her limp wrist, I guess. And then just kind of like idly, and then I kind of shoved past her on the bench.
Thud as the hand drops
can you, maybe provide a little detail, friend.
Oh, of course. He's like, yes. If you're in the business of getting yourself a spell rot tattoo, he's like, I can offer that service for you. And let me pull up. There it is. I had to find the sheet for it.
Does any other dwarf here have a visible tattoo?
Foreman Anlin would, yes.
Okay.
But otherwise, no. It just seems to be this guy.
It's time for the group tattoo, guys.
Man, I am 100% in.
He's like, I can offer you a few different options. He's like, some of them will cost you more than others. But basically, Nahesa, the spell rot tattoos that he can inscribe or that he can offer are absorb elements, searing smite, and spiritual weapon. Absorb elements and searing smite will be 50 gold, and spiritual weapon is 100 gold.
Are these like one-time use spells? Is that what it is?
They are spell rot tattoos, which I believe are multiple use, but I think it's once a day.
Oh wow,
it's,
that's really good.
I think it's refresh on long rest.
That seems busted.
You
for 50
roll.
Gold. Come
on. To refresh on long rest.
And you can have as many of these as you want, or you can only have one.
They take up certain parts of your body, so you can't have like, if one takes both hands, then you couldn't put another one on your hands,
right?
That or whatever.
I thought they also used up an attunement slot, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All magical tattoos always take up an attunement slot, unless they change something in Tasha's I'm not aware of.
No.
I'm breezing through it right now. No, they do take up an attunement slot. And then obviously you're limited by the space on your body, like what Cayce was saying. So,
well, as cliche as it would be to drunkenly get a tattoo, I think Rúna will. No, I think Rúna, I'm just trying to think of a way. She'd probably be like, no thanks, Tissa, I'm on to you, and then like rudely leaves the conversation.
Once the spell ends, the tattoo vanishes. By the way.
Oh, they are one-time use?
Well, the spell rot ones are, apparently. If that's what he was able to do, right?
Yes, he can provide spell rot tattoos.
What were the spells again? It was absorb elements.
Absorb elements, searing smite. Those are his 2 first
Mhm.
levels, and then his second level is spiritual weapon.
That's right.
And no one else has one except for the
Yeah, him and the
woman in
foreman.
charge.
Yep. Well, everyone
Okay.
else is presumably minors that you can tell. At least the folk here are. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absorb elements doesn't work on a cave in.
But searing smite helps. Do you mind?
I'm definitely getting a tattoo for sure. I mean, come on.
Well, while you guys are considering those options,
Mhm.
we're going to take our break here because it's a little after 8 o'clock. So we'll be back in about 15-ish minutes or so.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And we're back. All right. So you guys were discussing who among you was going to pick up a spell rot tattoo from Ness.
Cool.
Who rolled initiative?
Why did you
I'm
roll
just-
initiative?
I'm just kidding.
Well, there goes your nat 20 for the session.
Mhm.
You fool.
Nahesa sends her regards, stabs Tattoo.
Mhm. Absorb this.
Oh, Dave really liked that one. Okay.
What was it? What was it about that?
Absorb this.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cayleigh
Okay,
will get.
so-
Cayleigh will get one. The
Okay.
Absorb element. I think.
Sure.
Yep,
I
I'll get
mean,
the
it takes a
experience point.
okay. It takes a long rest for Bear to do his artificer stuff. So yeah, so you guys have plenty of time to.
We were just having a discussion about Nahesa's spell research thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, hold on. Why is it? Hold please.
Okay, holding.
All of the cameras just disappeared.
Oh,
Oh no.
good.
Apart
Uh-oh.
from MJ.
The stream go down.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Uh,
looking at
Oh,
the
no.
stream.
That is
Hmm.
not. I am not enough to carry this on my own.
All right, let me show player
It's
here.
the Discord. I
There we
updated
go.
Discord
Okay.
before we started like a moron
Why
Oh,
would you
no.
do
Why
that?
would you do that?
because I love to live dangerously.
I still think
I-
it's strange that I'm the only one who didn't.
I see
get-
my
Justin's
screen,
come back.
Justin just
yeah,
came back.
My screen shows
just keep
Justin.